Greetings everyone, Brett here with Hammerhead Model Making. We are back with another 5-minute review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the recently released UMA AV-8B Harrier in 1/48 scale. And the kit here that we're taking a look at was kindly provided by MRS Hobby Shop for the purposes of this review. I highly recommend you check out mrshobby.com. And let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. So this is a kit that's been highly anticipated since it was announced. And I'm not very familiar with UMA as a model manufacturer. So I'm kind of looking at everything brand new here, not just from the kit, but the manufacturer itself. And the first impression of the kit is that the box is absolutely chock full of plastic. There isn't like a spare inch in there that's not full of something, and the box is kind of like slightly overflowing. My first impression of the kit is I think there's going to be people out there that do not like the panel lines. They're kind of like borderline Airfix depth and width in terms of how they look. Me personally, it doesn't bother me, but I know there's some people are going to balk at that. However, you do get a very nice, collection of recessed panel lines, recessed rivet, raised rivets where appropriate, lots of slide molding in this kit. You could even just see on the fuselage there was some slide molding here. It's very nice. It's very clean. The plastic is not very shiny, but it's very smooth to the touch. Looks really nice. You're going to get a lot of options in this kit. You get weapon options. You get flight control surface options. You get various little bits and pieces, so it's very nice. I think kind of the running theme on this kit is just going to be the surface detail is phenomenal in all aspects, and they don't skimp out on details. There's a few things we're going to see later on that will kind of show you what I mean here, but this is just top notch in terms of how much detail they're pulling out of injection molding here. The and use of multiple different types of molding and technologies and things like that. Gun pods here, single piece slide molding parts. Those are nice. You do get two different options for like the back deck of the jet in the cockpit, different bits and pieces going inside the cockpit. And check out the ejection seat here. They've got the harnesses and everything all molded in the plastic, and it looks, I would say it probably rivals anything you could get out of like a 3D print or resin. It looks amazing. I mean, just this little, like, this is the end piece of the tail here. Obviously slide molded, multi-part slide molding, but so much detail packed into that little part there. The engine exhausts are all one part with slide molding, so you just have to scrape away a few parting lines, and that's about it. The blast deflectors here that would go on the hot exhaust, next to the hot exhaust to protect the fuselage, look really nice, very detailed, lots of great relief there. You do get two options for the intakes. You get this one here, which has the outer doors closed, and then this one has the outer doors open. So you do get the two options there. They are one piece. Hopefully that means it'll make it easy assembling those. So we'll see. Pylons, drop tanks. Nothing really spectacular about these. The same quality is carried over from the rest of it. You do get some, I believe these are GBU-12s, laser guided bombs. You get two of those. You get a targeting pod here, with the optical part being clear. So that'll get masked. You get a pair of Mavericks here, and I do like that they've taken the time to actually mold the back end of the weapons. They do the same thing with the sidewinders here. So you have two different options for the sidewinders. A little fiddly here, because you have to install all the fins separately, but I think they'll definitely look nice. Lots of great little details and parts and pieces, and like pretty much anywhere on the gray plastic, it looks like they've brought their A game in for just the overall quality here. I couldn't find an area where there'd be like a visible ejector pin mark, but then we come to the clear parts, and I think this is an area where like, having gone through the kit so far, I'm kind of let down with the clear parts. You'll notice on the very front windscreen, there's a very massive seam line there that will need to be taken care of. And in fact, it's so raised and pronounced that I actually thought it was like intentional. And I had to go look at pictures of Harriers to make sure it didn't actually have a seam line right down the middle. And the clear parts are actually really thick. All things considered, it just surprises me how different the quality feels on the clear parts compared to the rest of the kit. Everything else is like super fine, super precision. They've taken every expense to make it as good as possible, and then it seems like the clear parts are just a bit of a letdown. So let's go ahead and take a look at the instructions real fast. It builds up just as you would expect any other aircraft kit to build up. You do the cockpit, the nose landing gear, the fuselage. Like I mentioned, you do get a lot of options. Air brakes, you get different options for the control surfaces. The flaps can be posed up or down. You get a little bit of photo etch for the cockpit. And I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but at the same time, like, I think you have a lot of options for this kit, and you can do a lot of things with it. You do get color guides, you do get masks. There are 3 marking options in the kit, all for U.S. Marine units here, and 2 of them are quite colorful. The third one is kind of your standard low-vis paint scheme. However, they all look like interesting options, and you could have a lot of fun, researching the individual paint options. And I'm sure there's interesting stories behind them. So nice marking options. You do get a full set of stencils here, which is always welcome, even though sometimes they can be a pain. Decals are printed by Cartograph, so you can expect the highest quality here for the decals. They all look really nice in registered color. I can find no fault or issue with the decals. Pretty standard there. You do get the small photo etch here. Looks like you get rear view mirrors, HUD, a grate, or some kind of a grill of some sort. You also get very nice little pieces of HUD glass. I mean, that's amazing. You get pre-cut masks, including masks for the interior of the intake, which is awesome. Like, what a great thought put into that. So yeah, that's the kit. I mean, it looks like a great kit. I'm sure it'll build up great. It's annoying that they kind of fumbled the clear parts, in my opinion, but nothing that's not overcome, that you can't overcome and correct. So I think it get a thumbs up for me, and shout out to the patrons. We'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, everyone.